It's May 15th, and the strange side of history awaits. Today, we have a man returning from the dead in a different life, a runaway train with no crew, and a tower that transformed the skyline forever. Let's begin. On May 15th, 1957, a 31-year-old salesman named Larry Balder pushed a small fishing boat into the cold waters of Lake Eerie. Friends said he was drowning in debt, a wife, 4 children, bills piling higher and higher each month. Then, Larry vanished. Hours later, search crews found his boat drifting alone on the lake. The windshield was shattered and fishing gear remained on board, but Larry was gone. No body was ever recovered, and for years his family believed he had drowned. Then, 8 years later, somebody recognized him. Nearly 800 miles away in Omaha, Nebraska, a cheerful local television personality named Fitz Johnson became somewhat of a celebrity. He wore a black eye patch, hosted archery programs, and joked comfortably in front of the cameras. But one viewer froze the moment he saw his face, because Fitz looked exactly like Larry Balder. Fingerprint tests soon confirmed the impossible. The dead man from the Lake Eerie was alive. And when confronted, Balder insisted to remember nothing of his former life. No wife, no children, no Ohio. Larry Balder then died 1 year later, taking the truth with him to the grave. Would you have believed the amnesia, or a man trying to escape his old life? On May 15th, 2001, a freight train rolled out of the railway of Ohio with no one inside. At first, workers thought it was a simple mistake. Then they realized the train was accelerating. Locomotive 8888, later nicknamed Crazy Eights, thundered into the tracks, pulling 47 loads of cars behind it. There was no conductor on board, no engineer at the controls, just thousands of tons of steel, racing unmanned. And inside 2 of those rail cars was a highly toxic chemical, capable of creating a deadly disaster if the train derailed near a town or a crowded crossing. The runaway quickly reached speeds above 50 miles per hour. Dispatchers watched in horror as the train burst through intersections past helpless motorists while police scrambled along the tracks. At one point, a sheriff actually tried to shoot the emergency fuel cutoff switch from a moving vehicle, but he missed. The railway workers made a desperate decision. Another locomotive was sent to chase it. Crew members slowly coupled onto the railway from behind while both trains were moving. As sparks screamed beneath the wheels, trainmaster John Hosfield climbed into the side of the speeding locomotive. One wrong step and it could have thrown him beneath the train, but seconds later he reached the controls and finally killed the throttle. After 66 terrifying miles, the ghost train had finally come to a stop. This is one of those real events that feels too cinematic to be true, but every terrifying mile actually happened. On May 15th, 1889, crowds gathered beneath the skeleton of iron rising over Paris like something from another world. Many people hated it. Writers called it monstrous, and artists compared it to a giant smokestack looming over the city. Some Parisians even believed the structure would collapse before the World Fair even ended. The Eiffel Tower was the tallest structure on Earth and officially welcomed the public for the first time. But there was one problem. The elevators were not working yet, so thousands of visitors began to climb, step after step, higher into the cold iron framework. 1,800 stairs twisted upwards to the metal beams while the crowd slowly disappeared beneath their feet. Some described the tower as swaying in the wind. Others admitted that they became dizzy looking down through the open lattice beneath them. Within days, nearly 30,000 people had reached the summit of the strange new structure that many critics demanded to be torn down. And they almost got their wish. The Eiffel Tower had never meant to stay. It was designed as a temporary installment, scheduled to be dismantled after just 20 years. But as wireless radio technology emerged, the giant iron tower became too valuable to destroy, so instead it survived and became one of the most recognizable structures on Earth. It's strange to imagine that one of the most famous structures once was hated so badly that people wanted to destroy it. Another day, another strange bite from history. Like, comment, and subscribe. Your next eerie dose is just a day away.